Happy New Year to you all. I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday season. Now, usually this time of the year is a perfect time for reflection. We reflect about what happened the past year. We try to figure out if we are able to grow and improve ourselves moving forward. Speaking of reflection, what caught my attention last year December was Chris Brown coming to our country in South Africa. A friend of mine sent me a video about someone on TikTok discussing what they feel about the whole Chris Brown coming to the country. What intrigued me is as to how some people will be able to find the negativity out of the whole situation. And it made me wonder how difficult it is for a man to be forgiven when they've done some wrong. How that person was able to say his opinion and make as if that opinion is a fact. That we all should be able to reason as to how we reasons. And it made me realize that we are far as men from being in a society where we are able to coexist with people without them bashing or even just wanting the worst out of us. Let me play the video for you guys for you to be able to see what I'm talking about.
If you're South African, I need to explain to you the whole Chris Brown thing, ne? So the reason why it's really such an issue that he came to this country is not because him not coming would have changed anything. That's not it. The issue here is not changing the outcome. The issue here, and I need you to listen to me right now, is that on a cultural level, the way that we view abusers and violent people, especially someone like Chris Brown, who has had his most recent violent action happen a few months.
I don't agree with a lot of things that he says. He mentions culture on a cultural level. What makes him be able to dictate as to what we should perceive as culture and what we shouldn't perceive as culture?
Especially someone like Chris Brown, who has had his most recent violent action happen a few months ago within this year of 2024, and who is also a man who has been banned from multiple countries because of his violent action, is exactly what enables abusers to continue their behavior in this country. The idea that it's up to these men, these violent South African men, to
these violent South African men. Which violent South African men? Just because of Chris Brown's history, him coming to this country is because of these violent South African men.
To change things is nonsense, because it's never going to change. You need to look at how you view abuse in this country, and also why you think it's okay to finance and platform a man who has had a repetitive history with not only GBV but just violence in general. So no, Chris Brown not coming to South Africa wouldn't have changed anything directly, but on a cultural level it would have been a win for the way that we as South Africans view abuse. From my personal experiences with violent men in this country and with sexual abusers in this country.
I also have a problem with how always these people in the movement tend to refer to violent people as men. Are you saying that there are no violent women? Are you saying that it's only GBV when it happens to a woman? You can hear the narrative that is trying to push here is that men are the problem. Men are the one enabling Chris Brown or financing Chris Brown to come to the country. Men that are violent and abusive are the ones that are enabling him to come to the country because of these violent men. Why don't I hear about violent women? Or are there no violent women that exists within the GBV spectrum that can be perpetrators and men can be the victim to this GBV? I don't know.
In this country as well. I know that these types of people rely on communities of people to support them. People like you, who when someone comes out and says, hey, this person was violent towards me, or hey, this person sexually assaulted me, you go, no, he's not that type of person.
Also, people like you, people like whom? The judgment from this guy.
No, he's healed. No, he's grown from it. No, we've forgiven him. Who are you to forgive someone, firstly? He never did anything towards you, so why are you forgiving him? And this is the issue. When you support someone like Chris Brown, when you support someone like even Jacob Zuma, you are supporting this violence, and you are...
Who are you to forgive him, firstly? Okay, now, that same length of breath, if he says that, who am I to forgive Chris Brown? Because of he has never done anything directly to me, but now supposedly when it suits him, I'm supposed to react in a way that he wants me to react because of he feels that type of way. He feels that people that says that they have forgiven Chris Brown, who are they to forgive Chris Brown because of he has never done anything directly to them? But better yet, he turns around and says and put us or holds us rather accountable for him coming to the country and saying that we should have cancelled him coming to the country. In that same length of breath, Who are we to want to cancel him because of he has never done anything directly to us? I mean, I sense a lot of double standards from this guy's post.
And you are sweeping it under the rug, and that is why this cycle continues. The cycle of violence will never end until us as South Africans as a whole start changing our perspectives on it, and until we start holding these people accountable and start shaming them for their actions. The most we can do is change things culturally and shun these people from society.
As much as I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say, but on a different level, I feel that he's too judgmental, because of, if someone has done something bad a couple of years back and then he was punished for it, right? He served, I mean, Chris Brown did serve his time. He suffered the consequences of whatever that he did. So why should we then play God? Are we saying that men don't deserve a second chance? Because of why I say men, because of I hear that his focus is on men. He speaks about Chris Brown, he speaks about Jacob Zuma, and how we're supposed to shame them from society. And for him, he deems that as a cultural win. So he dictates what gets to be the culture, but at the same time forgetting that we are human beings. Before we judge, we need to look at all the facts. Yeah, it's fine if it's been banned by those countries. And it got me thinking, that whole thing got me thinking, by the way, that I remember the news were like, people were ecstatic about the whole thing. I don't know, people were shocked, and then that's when a lot of people, because of the movements, the GBV movements, the feminisms entered the whole situation, and then they were like, Chris Brown is a demon, he should be punished, and yeah, he did get his to serve his sentence however way. But what made me look back to that situation or that event, because of that's the whole event that started everything for you to find these influencers that think that it's okay to judge a human being, especially if they are a man, forever and ever. And then I was like, okay, that happened 2009, but are we saying that Chris Brown was the only person wrong in that whole situation? Right? So I went back and tried to look for videos where Chris Brown explains himself, right? Because we never really gave the guy a chance to say his side of the story. Because I believe that in life there are always three sides to a story: your truth, my truth, and the truth, right? So media never allowed us to hear the side of Chris Brown. Rather, it was just Rihanna being the victim. So I dug up a video where Chris Brown shot a documentary explaining himself for the first time about the whole situation, and I want to play it for you guys.
It just went downhill because, it would be fights, it would be verbal fights, physical fights as well, mutual sides, and this is the first time I get to say anything. And like I said, I still love Rihanna, but I'm just gonna be honest. We would fight each other. She would hit me, I would hit her. But it never was okay. It was always a point to when we talk about it, like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I don't like that. I don't like you slapping me. If I go on stage, I got a scratch on my face, and then I gotta explain it like, oh, no, I fell, or if you got a scar or whatever, or a bruise, you gotta put makeup on it. I feel like shit. Like I'm not ever trying to put my hands on any female. Like me, I felt like a fucking monster.
Exactly the point I'm trying to bring across. I know I'm going to get a lot of, I might get a lot of bashers and feminists, and even male or men that can't stand up for themselves or can't stand up for one another, forgetting that females do stand up for one another, that are going to bash me. But the truth of the matter is, he is explaining the toxic nature of their relationship. And as far as we can tell, they are both perpetrators and they are both victims. They were young, number one, they're celebrities with all this attention, this new power that they're having. But now they are toxic towards each other because they were both violent towards each other. It was the nature of their relationship. So when do we get to a point whereby two people are toxic towards each other, two people are both violent towards each other, but you want to pun only one person because of solely it makes sense because of they are men, and men are these vultures that just want to bite someone else off, forgetting that women too have their own flaws and women tend to be very aggressive. From our experience as men,
7 years ago, when I was about 17, 18, you know, the whole Rihanna incident happened. And, you know, a lot of that changed my life. And that night at that Clive Davis party, that I made sure the person that I was involved with before, I said, hey, if you can't come around to these places, and the person comes in, comes right to the table and say, hey, what's up, y'all? And I already know it's an issue, so I say, hey, cool, and I keep it, and they keep it moving and leave. I look over at Rihanna, and she's bawling, she's just crying. In the middle of the ceremony about to start, she's just crying, and I'm like, yo, please, babe, don't do this. Like, don't do this in here. Like I didn't know, I promise, I swear to God, I didn't know. So she got over it, she started drinking a little bit, we both were drinking a little bit. We was tipsy, laughing, joking, you know, and then we left.
And Juan, just a few hours ago, we saw Chris Brown drive off. According to sources, the alleged fight broke out inside a Lamborghini that was located at Hancock Park.
As you know, young relationships, any relationship is based on trust, but because I told her that, she didn't trust me with anything.
I love that he mentions trust. I speak about trust a lot. A relationship that doesn't have trust is a problem. Already, if I don't have trust towards my partner, I'm being toxic towards my partner because of now I'm going to start to second guess each and everything that they do. The issue there was the issue of Rihanna not trusting Chris Brown. So because of she don't trust Chris Brown, she starts to act erratically. She starts to act violently towards the guy, right? Remember, they are both intoxicated. She's emotional because of she thinks that the person that went to the party that they were attending came because of she wanted to see Chris Brown because of they have a past, right? I mean, everyone has a past. So I don't know, why would she want to act like that for someone that's an ex of the current boyfriend?
I would give her the option of, oh, you can look at my phone. So I gave her the phone. She looks at the phone and there's a message and it says, kill the Grammys, do your thing. And I didn't read the rest of the message, I didn't open it. So she opened the message and the rest of the message said, I'll see you at the Clive party. So off top, she thought I was lying. She starts going off, she throws the phone, I hate you, whatever. Starts hitting me, we're in a little Lamborghini. You know, she's fighting me and I'm like, look, I'm telling you the truth, I swear to God. You know, I'm telling you the truth, stop it. So then she hits me a couple more times and I just kind of it doesn't go from translation to let's sit down, I'm telling you the truth. It goes to now I'm finna be mean and be evil. Arguing. So then I remember she tried to kick me. It's like just her just being upset. But then I really hit her, like I with a closed fist, like I punched her, you know, and it busted her lip. And when I saw it, I was in shock. I was like, fuck, why the hell did I hit her like? So from there.
And I guess that's how most men's story go. Always, you will find that, and I'm speaking from experience, whatever that I'm saying from experience, happened with multiple women, not just even one. So I don't care, you can bash me, you can feel that I'm being such a narcissist or whatever, but the truth is the truth. And it's time that us men, we start to not be afraid to express and say our story. Just as much as women feel bold to say their story and express how they feel and say their truth, let us also speak our truth. Most of the time you find that the woman would start the fight and start being violent towards the guy. Now, I'm not saying that the guy is justifiable for him to be violent, but at the same time, whenever we judge that whole situation, let's start from the scratch. Let's start from the root. Let's not judge one person and then forget that the other person might be even the instigator on the whole situation.
She just spit in my face, like spit the blood in my face, and I'm like, yo, so it enraged me even more. Like it's a real on fight in a car. We driving down the street. So I'm like, yo, man, we tripping. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? She's trying to grab for my phone, and I'm not giving her my phone to throw it out the window. So she grabs my nuts. And when she do that, I bite her arm, I think, as I'm driving, because I'm still trying to drive. And it's just like a petty, like stupid fight, bro. And I'm just realizing it. I'm like, look, what the hell am I doing, bro? Like, what are you, like, you honestly doing this in the car right now? Like, what are we doing? So I pull over in Hancock Park, maybe less than 2-3 miles from my house, because I'm just trying to resolve the situation. I'm not trying to fight any further. I don't want to, like, I love her. I don't want to hurt my girlfriend. You know, so I pull over and I said, look, like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, I'm crying, she's crying. Like, I'm telling you the truth. I swear to God, like, I didn't do it. I didn't know she was fucking coming. I didn't know, I promise. She just didn't believe me. Like, I just know you lying to me, lying to me. So she takes the keys out of the car. I'm in park. She takes the keys out of the car and throws fakes like she throws them out the window. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I get out the car. When I get out the car, I'm looking for the keys in somebody's yard. And she yells out of her door, help, he's trying to kill me. I said, stop, like, we gonna get in trouble. So I'm looking for the keys. She's sitting on the keys. So I'm like, you know what? I can't play this game with you. So I'm getting my bags out of the car. She takes my CDs. This is back when I would record on CDs. You couldn't put it on your phone when you leave the studio. So I had new music, and she was just scratching it up. I just seen her scratching it up with the keys. So I just snatched the bag, and I was like, you know what? You got the keys. You can drive home. By this time, her lip was busted. She had a knot because I pushed her head up against the window. And you know, a lot of the times, like, I look back at that picture and I'm just like, yo, bro, like, that's not me, bro. That's not me. Like, I hate it to this day. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna haunt me forever. I hated myself, you know? So I was thinking about suicide and everything else. So it's just like, fuck. But from there, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just take everything like it's come. My consequences for my actions have to be dealt with, you know? I turned myself in the next day, pled guilty, didn't, you know, argue, didn't say, hey, now let me fight this case and take it to trial.
When are we going to hold Rihanna accountable? Since we want to hold Chris Brown accountable for something that he did a couple of years back, more than a decade back, and he even served his time for it, right? Regardless of the verdict, he was punished by the law, and then he served his time, right? And he had to do a self-reflection and self-introspection. Did Rihanna ever go through that, or why are we acting as if she doesn't have a part to play in this whole story? Why do you want to make Rihanna out to be the only victim? Because at the ultimate end, it means that they were both victims and they were both perpetrators, right? So they should have both got a punishment. That's one of the things that I believe that is wrong with the society of today. We have all these feminism movements, all these people that are very quick to proclaim men as trash, to proclaim men as monsters, and they straight up tell us to our face how disgusting we are. Are you saying that you don't have any flaws? Why are we so quick to look at the splint at someone's eyes and forgetting to look at the bulk in our eyes? People that advocate for women are the ones that actually try to drive all these stupid, senseless narratives to say, but someone is coming to perform, he should be banned because of what he did in the past and he was punished for, and forgetting that the other party that also played a major role, that was also violent towards that party, that even started the fight solely because of what? Insecurities, not having trust for your partner. And then now everything turned for your partner. That's mostly our life story, because of you find that a woman would provoke me. Whenever I react, everything switches up to be my fault. I might even end up reacting in a way that will change my life forever, which is this case that happened for Chris Brown. Why don't we also say that let's cancel Rihanna? Why don't we also say that let's ban Rihanna for her violent and toxic behavior? For her to even lie to people and say that Chris Brown wants to kill her. That's someone that's very malicious. And I believe that for 2025, we as men, we're supposed to stand up, talk our truth before things get out of hand. Whenever you're with a toxic partner, a toxic woman, don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid to speak against. Don't be afraid to call that person out. Because of tomorrow, you might feel that, okay, I'm going to hold it in. tomorrow she's gonna press you to the point whereby you make a stupid decision, and then now the whole thing's gonna shift. Her part into that whole thing is not going to be considered. The feminists will be the ones driving the whole story now, and we all know what happens when they drive the story. And then you might get convicted solely because of we as a society, we can't think rationally whenever we hear something about a man having done something. We don't just say, okay, let's be rational. Let's find out what happened from both sides of the story, and then we make a decision from there. We are quick to want them to suffer the most excruciating pain. Now, don't get me wrong. Each and every human being that does something hurtful to another human being, each and every human being, that goes for men, that goes for women, that goes for men, that goes for women, they need to be punished. But this whole thing doesn't work if only one particular gender is the one that is supposed to be punished and the other one no, because of we are not part of GBV, that we're not part of the gender. Men, stay strong, speak up. Let's start to stand together as much as women stand together, and let's start to speak up against these women that provoke us, that these women that hurt us, that these women that also cause harm to us, so that we start to fix the problem, the real problem, and fight this war of women and men being apart and trying to fight each other instead of coming together to face all these demons that you're facing. Have a prosperous new year.
Everybody's human and everybody makes mistakes. And if God can give us mercy, why can't we have mercy on each other?